I was walking through a store in a mall that I went to with my parents. I was around 10 years old, 10 or 11 years old, so this must have been in like 2015, 2016-ish. And yeah, I was walking around this mall and this really attractive looking game store caught my eyes. So I walked in and I started looking and browsing through the games at this point. Um, I wasn't much of a gamer, but I did enjoy occasionally playing games with friends. We just play games on the PC, on the computer back then. And one of the things that caught my eye at that point was the PS4. And I think the PS4 had come out maybe a year ago by that point, so a bunch of people already had it. The reason we were at the mall was because I was shopping for a back to school moment. Well, I say back to school, but around that age, I moved schools. So I was moving into a new school. I was going to meet new people. So obviously, first impressions are key. So I was trying to buy like a backpack, buy like stationery, buy things that I could use in my school. But I just couldn't help myself. I run into this game store, like just looked really nice. So I walked in and there's like a console that's shown for display. So I grab it and I start playing it. I realize that it's the PS4, it's the new one. So I'm really excited. I'm putting in like the CDs of the games that I thought were really nice. And yeah, I ended up playing there for around 15, 20 minutes ish, something like that. And I just thought it was really cool. And then I went back home right after that. And yeah, I walked into school and I met a couple of people. People were kind of standoffish at this point. I'm not sure why, but it was just pretty hard to make friends, I'd say, at that point. One day, one of the guys that I had met there at that point invited me to play video games with him, and I said, "Yeah, sure. Let's just like we could just like hop on PC. We can just play it on the computer." And he said, "No, no, no, bro. I'm talking about playing a video game together on the PS4. You see, like all of our friends, like there's like four of us, five of us here. All of us just join in, play these like multiplayer shooting games and stuff like that. And you can just join in on the party thing onto the PS4. You can join it in there, and yeah, we can all just play together." And at that point, I told him, "Hey, man, I don't own a PS4. Like I don't have it." And he said, "No, no, no, it's fine. Like I'm sure you can go get it. I'm sure you can go buy it." And I said, "Yeah, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I probably could. Okay." And so I went back home. I dragged my parents out to the mall the very next day, and I was like, "Hey, I really need you guys to check this thing out because this would really help me make more friends. This would help me be more acceptable amongst the people that I'm hanging out with. Yeah, just I really want you guys to see this and tell me if I can buy it, right?" My dad and mom didn't really come from wealth themselves, so they worked really hard to attain a sense of stability in their lives. And by that point, I wouldn't even say we were stable. They were they were both doctors. They used to work endless hours, but at the end of the day, it's not like they were getting paid quite a lot at that point. Plus, they had to deal with their own debts, loans, all of these other payments that like kids at that age don't really understand. They don't really get it. They see something, they like it, they're gonna ask their parents if they can buy it, right? Regardless, so I walk in with my dad. My dad's a little bit hesitant to walk in to the spot. I just thought it was because he, didn't like it, didn't wasn't really interested. And as soon as we walked in, we looked at the PS4. I started showing him excited. I said, "Hey, look, this controller is really cool. Like I get to play with it. Like all of my friends are on this as well. Look at this game. This game is so sick." I'm telling him all these things that they made me really excited. And he was just sat there like nodding his head, smiling, listening to it. At the end, I said, "Dad, can we buy it? Can we buy the PS4?" And I'll never forget what he told me at that point. He looked at me and he said, "Listen, son, You probably don't really understand it yet, but we can't afford it. Hmm. We can't afford it. We, we can't buy it. We don't have enough money. That was a very important like teaching moment for me because I kind of understood, okay, this is where we stand, this is where everyone else is, but this is where we are like as a family. We can't really afford it. My parents used to work really hard to just support me, and the best they could do was send me to a good school. They did their best to give me the best education possible, and I'm very grateful for it. But in that moment, it was a learning moment, I'd say, in my life, where I understood the importance of money. I understood how scarce money was for us. Naturally, growing up, I pedestalized money quite a bit. Not in the sense of me wanting to chase it or anything like that, but in the sense of, oh, like before making every decision, I would evaluate how much money I needed to spend on it, how much money I can budget. I lived off of budgets my entire life. So, yeah, the moment definitely shaped me. That was 10 years ago. And up until that point, obviously I'd gotten like my parents telling me, no, we can't buy this. Of course I had that, but I didn't really understand why. I just, you're a kid, you just listen to your parents. If they say no, they say no. It was at that point that I started to understand what money was, why money was important. And because of that, I understood how scarce money was in our lives. Life has changed now, but I was still stuck in the past. I'm still stuck in the past in a lot of ways. And I've been trying to reprogram my brain's ability to look at money in a non-pedestalized way where I don't have to be so scarce about it all the time. And that scarcity mindset developed from my parents who didn't have much money either. And that's fair enough. Fair enough that they had to develop that mindset. But I'm in a phase of rewriting my entire life. I'm in a phase of rewriting my entire future, and I need to reshape and rebuild all of my memories. I need to reprogram myself so that I can drive myself to the place that I want to get to. And this is my current belief. Back then, when I was younger, that was a scarcity mindset. Now, as I'm getting older, I'm now walking through with an abundance mindset. I need to understand that money isn't finite. Money is not finite. Money is not something that'll come in and then just run out. No. I'm trying to reprogram it into my brain that you can always make more money. And this might seem very delusional, and perhaps in some ways it might come across as insensitive. But believe me, it's not, because I've experienced the other side of life. I've experienced the life where money is scarce. But now I am with the firm belief that I will always have it, purely because I don't pedestalize it anymore. I act without attachment. You will always have more. That should be the mindset for you moving forward. I think that in a way, life gives you what you seek. When you seek something, when you seek to find something, um, life will open up to you and life will act like a library. Life will guide you into the path that you want to see things. And I think most of our beliefs and opinions will also shape most of our experiences. It's actually, experiences don't really cause beliefs, it's our beliefs that cause the experiences in the first place. It's the other way around. And this is why I'm trying to seek abundance, because I think that I'm going to have everything else sorted if I have this mindset first. There is no scarcity of anything that you want. There is no scarcity of people. There is no scarcity of luxury. There is no scarcity of any opportunity in life. Do not feel that you have missed out on the one and only opportunity in your life, or one and only person in your life, one and only chance in your life to aim for luxury. It's not true. There are infinite chances as long as you believe that there are chances. And this is not me, and all of this sounds like extremely wishy washy, but believe me, what you tell yourself has power. What you tell yourself is exactly how you will start acting. And I want you to program this mindset into your brain as well. If you struggled through having a scarcity mindset around money, or anything similar to that, let's fix our brain's way of thinking so that we can actually attain what we want to in life, instead of always being that scared little child that's going to think about scarcity. Because, like I said, that particular incident then went on to a cascade of explaining to me the value of money, and I developed a scarcity mindset. I was naturally a penny pincher after that. Constantly I was a penny pincher. I avoided opportunities, I avoided meeting people, I avoided going out just because it would cost more money. I've been there, I've lived that life. And believe me, you will always have more. You will always have more. Be abundant in life. Think abundantly in life. Think about that.